We are one of the only providers that charge less than 20K for the service that also have almost a decade experience. So I've been selling on Amazon since 2014. If you're watching this video any later than 2024, I've been doing it for 10 years plus now. And one of the number one things that people complain about when it comes to a lot of these other providers that provide this similar service is what they charge. Right, so people charging $30,000, $40,000, and $50,000 for this done-for-you service, and it doesn't really make a lot of sense. To me, you're being ripped off, right? And it might, oh, Kevin, you're being biased. You provide a done-for-you service too. We're gonna be closing the doors at about 90 clients. We have over 40 clients right now, so I don't need new clients. So when I'm helping people and giving advice, I'm doing it genuinely. I will comment on it, I don't care. So today, this video, I don't really give a shit what any other provider thinks or says about me and my service and what they, what they're doing and how they justify it. I'm going to go over in depth the differences between a handful of different Amazon automation services. Now, I'm not going to name any of the names of these other providers, but I am going to explain some of the pricing, how their structures work, and the key differences between some of those services in mind. So one of the number one takeaways is going to be finding a provider that doesn't overcharge, no matter how good they are and what kind of results they can promise you. And one of the things you need to look for is people that are over-promising, that they'll get you this much result in this short period of time. Those are the ones you want to avoid, because when I get a new client and they've actually come from a bad past experience, it's because they've come from someone who's basically pressured them into getting the service, over-promising, and then not delivering. For example, saying, hey, within this first 6 months, we can get you to $10,000 a month in sales. And then the client says, well, I see people doing like $50,000 a month in 6 months. Can you get me there? And then the provider changes what they originally say to you and say, oh yeah, we can definitely do that, no problem. Let's get you started, send me $30,000 or $40,000. When you're talking to other providers and they're not making this stuff clear to you, what it's gonna cost, what the anticipated projections can be, etc., then that's another reason that you should probably shy away, because if they don't have a solid, clear answer for you, they don't really know what they're talking about. The only way you can change up the results that you deliver to a client is if you explain to them, yeah, if you want to be able to move a bit faster, you would just have to allocate more funds and more manpower to the business. So if you're willing to pay for additional employees and additional labor on the store, now it's not going to be a massively huge, significant difference, especially in a short period of time, but after like 6 months or 12 months or so of you allocating more manpower to building a business from scratch, you can definitely get better results in like half a year to a year plus. You might be able to get a fractional difference, like marginal, like maybe 10-15% better. It all depends on the manpower allocated to the business, right? And that's very, very easy to see if someone knows what they're talking about just by asking them simple questions. Hey, if we were to do this, what would happen after that? If you're an Amazon expert and you've been doing it for so long, you should have the answers. As of 2023, I've been doing it for over 9 years. There isn't really many people in the space that have been doing Amazon that long, and charging less than what most other providers charge should tell you something. This guy's been doing it a really long time and he's not charging 30, 40 grand. Why? Like a comparison wise, instead of paying for a service, you buy a product. So you buy a product that's normally $30, and then you could have someone who charges a lot less, and sometimes you get what you pay for. So when it's cheaper, sometimes if it's too cheap, it might be crap. So if you find guys that charge $0 or $5K, maybe they're just outsourcing the entire process to virtual assistants only. So they literally have no oversight, and there actually isn't any management going on within your store or your business. So it's just a bunch of VAs that have been set wild on your store, and that's dangerous. Number two is, if someone's overcharging, you need to find a happy medium. So finding someone that charges not only a good price, but also provides good value. So being able to find someone like myself who's been doing Amazon almost a decade that doesn't charge 30, 40, or 50K, again, like I said, that should tell you something. Now, if I was to charge $5,000, that wouldn't really make sense, because having North American-based managers, where we have an actual existing infrastructure, a management infrastructure, where we're actually personally, and including myself, overseeing client stores, making sure the stores do well, versus just handing the stores over to virtual assistants and never paying any attention to the business whatsoever, which is what 99% of these guys do. And a lot of the times you're also getting on a phone with a call with a sales rep or an affiliate. You're not actually talking to the person providing you the service. If you are going to pay someone $20,000, $30,000 for a service, don't you think you should be able to speak to at least one of the managers or owners of the company and not just a sales rep or an affiliate? Another thing that differentiates our service from other providers, I know a lot of providers have annual renewal fees. I think annual renewal fees are bullshit, absolute bullshit, and you should not have to pay for an annual renewal fee. Especially if you pay 30 or 40 grand for the service. That's just mind-boggling. That's literally just a money grab. Think about it. If you're paying $30,000 or $40,000 for a done-for-you service or investment service, or an Amazon done for you service, for example, and then they charge you every 12 months or say, hey, I charge you 30 or 40 grand already. If you want to do year 2, you need to send us another 10 grand or 10% of whatever profit you made this year. Like, how are you ever going to catch up and actually get your initial ROI back? Now, I get it, as a service provider, the more money you can make, the better. But if you're gouging into your clients' pockets and you're not really looking at it as a justified fee, and you're literally just doing it just because it's more money, it's more profit for you, you're a great businessman, but you're also a bit of a sleazy businessman, right? If you're selling a product, sell it for a higher price you can humanly possibly sell it for, right? It's a product. But when you're providing a service, you're serving people directly, you're building relationships. So you need to be doing it based on value, not just based on ripping people off at all costs, cutting corners by not having any actual management team. There's a lot of really, really messy stuff going on in this space, and I see it, and that's what we're talking about today. When I say annual renewal fees are bullshit, that's coming from someone who's been doing it for almost 10 years and looking at it from my own personal perspective, not as a service provider. And another thing is, a lot of them just hand your stores over to virtual assistants only, and then they take a step back. They have zero management roles whatsoever. They don't have any actual paid upper management. They don't have any North American or European or Australian based, because a lot of virtual assistants are from the Middle East and overseas. Now, there's not a problem with that. It's just because of their minimum wage is so low, being able to pay someone $3, $4, $5 an hour, it actually is a really, really good pay for them. But because of that, and if you have any experience with e-commerce and hiring virtual assistants to do business for you, it's rather because of a language barrier or a few other factors that just make it a little bit difficult to just control the entire business and store for you. Out of all the virtual assistants I've ever hired, I've fired a lot of them too. I've fired dozens and dozens of virtual assistants, especially when I try to give them a little bit more responsibility. And it's not to say it's because of where they're from. It's just because I don't know if it's a language barrier. I don't know if it's just a skill set and a skill base that they're not able to fully develop. So it's really hard to find good virtual assistants even. So to that point, this is why you need North American based managers. If I want to hire someone as a manager, I need to be able to be with them in person. I need to see them and I need to coach them in person and not just rely on someone overseas. We are the ones that are actually doing the upper management and the control over client stores. So when it comes to placing orders and setting up supplier agreements, VAs can do that no problem, especially once you train them. But managing the business and ensuring growth and all the very, very kind of more important factors versus just placing orders and sourcing the products, even the final decision on the really good products that go into client stores, we like to kind of have a say on. We like to be hands-on. So one of the very first things we do when we take a new client is all of us join a group chat immediately. And you can actually see right here, this is WhatsApp, and we have any store with the name FBA at the end is a client's group chat. So FBA, FBA, FBA. So those are all clients of ours, and that's I'm in the chat, Leslie's in the chat, the order managers are in the chat. If they're doing Canada, Matt's in the chat. All of us join a group chat immediately, so you have a 24/7 constant line of communication, not just with the virtual assistants placing your orders, but with the management team and the owners of the company actually in the group chat 7 days a week there for you. It's crazy to me that other service providers can't give this to their clients. Like, they can't actually be there for them. Some service providers only have communication via email. Like, how are you supposed to run a business and have a line of communication with the building of a business and just communicate via email only? There's just a lot of crap out there, and this video is also to help you guys distinguish the differences between a good service and a not so good service. So some of the other factors and things for you to look for, let's say it's been 5 years and you've built the business to $200,000 a year net profit. Normally with an Amazon wholesale FBA business or private label business, you can sell these businesses for 2 to 2.5 times net profit. So if you did $200,000 net profit in your 4th year and you want to sell it in the 5th, well, you should be able to get $400,000 to $500,000 for the business. We don't take a profit off of that when you sell the business. I know a lot of other service providers, almost all of them have in their contracts, we get a piece of the pie if you ever sell the business later. Technically, you're hiring them on a contractual basis to work for you, right? That's what you're paying someone to build an Amazon business for you. You're not creating an actual joint venture partnership. You should still maintain 100% ownership over the company. That's how it works with me. I don't take any ownership of your company. So 3, 4, 5 years later, you want to sell the business for a profit. Why would I be entitled to taking a profit? All I was doing was working for you and listing products and scaling the business. I don't own part of your company. What right do I have to ask for 10%? So another factor and another thing is being able to do this service depending where you live. Some people say, hey, I'm in Europe. Can I have your service and still sell like Amazon USA or whatever? Yes, you can. I have a client in Germany. I have a client from Ireland. I have clients from Europe. I have clients from Canada. I have most of the clients are USA. I would say a half a dozen or so are Canadian, and the rest are actually from all different parts of the world. So can you do it from pretty much anywhere? Yeah, as long as you can have an Amazon business and a registered company, LLC, corporation, whatever it is, whatever your registered company is for you in your country, Certain countries, we might not be able to create supplier agreements for you unless you get a USA LLC. Then you just need to create a North American-based LLC or corporation. It's not very difficult, and it normally only costs a couple $100. So that's going to be your only barrier to entry if you're outside North America. Not a big issue, right? Not a big deal. I know a lot of the providers will only take people based in the USA because it's just easier. It's kind of lazy. Oh, hey, well, what if you're from Europe or somewhere that's not USA and you want to have the service and people deny you, oh, you're not from USA? No. Well, that's not really fair because a lot of the USA suppliers will work with internationals, and those who don't, all they really say is, hey, just get a US LLC and we'll work with you. I work with those clients, not a problem. So another good thing is if you see someone that has like insane amount of paid marketing going on, they got Facebook ads, Google ads, TikTok ads, LinkedIn ads, Instagram ads. You see them literally everywhere. Every corner you turn on social media, all you see is these people's faces. It's rather good because they're doing a good job at organically growing their presence, and they're a very good value provider in the space. So like when you see me, if I'm on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, it's not because I'm spending $500 a day in ads trying to get as many clients as possible. Because I charge less than 20K for the service, and I also pay the managers part of that upfront service fee, right? With me, you get to know exactly where your money's going. So another thing you need to ask these providers, so this point's bringing me to another point for you. When you're hiring someone to build a done-for-you Amazon business for you, you need to be able to know where your money's going, what it's being used for. So when someone says, yes, we charge 30K, say, okay, cool, where does that go? How do you utilize that $30,000 and what is it used for? And if they say, oh, well, it's the service fee and this is just what you have to pay. Okay, but I would like to know where some of that money's going. Obviously, you know, some of it's going to be profit for the company, right? It's a given. But the money that's not profitable, where does that go? If they can't give you an answer, that's probably because the entire fee is profit. That's messed up. If the whole fee is profit, why are you charging 30, 40, 50 grand? That's so greedy. I mean, it's nuts. And if that's their answer, hey, yeah, this is what I charge and I don't really have a reason why, it's just the service fee. What do you, okay, see you later, goodbye. Why would I ever want to pay you freaking greedy bastard, right? It's rather it's all profit, or they just don't have a freaking idea what's happening in their own business, which is another gigantic red flag. So for us, we charge, let's say 19K for the 70-30 profit share option. Where does it go? 30% immediately goes amongst the managers, not including myself. I don't ever take part of that. I like to leave as much money in the Supreme Commerce bank account as possible because it costs me about $25,000 a month. There's the truth. So I'm super transparent. It's not very hard to get answers out of me. How much does it cost you to run the service, Kevin? 25 grand a month. Why does it cost you 25 grand a month? Well, we normally have clients contribute a couple $100s a month to their store. It costs me about $600 USD per store. So I'm always losing a couple $100s a month when I take a new client on, at least for the first 8 to 12 months. So some of that service fee goes to literally carrying a new client store over for the first few months, upwards of the first year. So normally after about a year, when someone pays me for a service, there's normally anywhere from $6,000 to $9,000 left for profit for the company. It's pretty easy math. If someone's running the service and they actually know what they're doing, they should have these answers for you. They should have the numbers. So yes, I make money on the service fee, but it's not a lot. So those are the downsides, and those are really the key differences between done-for-you services. Now, these are the things you need to be looking for. These are the things you need to be able to understand. So if you want to watch this video again, I break down all these points. One is going to be the price, the difference in price and what people are charging versus what we're charging. Then it's going to be the annual renewal fees. Then the third point is going to be, do they take profit if you sell the business later or not? Right? Number 4 is going to be, do you get to work directly with the owners or managers of the business, or just the virtual assistants? Right? You want the beginning, you don't want the latter. Do they serve clients outside of the USA only? And then the next point, are they on a mission to get thousands and thousands of clients and make as much money as they can just off the service fee, not really putting too much care into how much money they're making off the profit share? So another really good point to go off of that one that I just mentioned, how many clients are they looking to get? Well, if they're just looking to get as many clients as possible, the quality of work might not be that great. So those are the things you need to look for. This is why I'm creating this video. I really am doing it mostly to help you guys. Obviously, like I said, it makes my service look great because I do think my service is good. But again, we're closing our doors at about 90 clients. So do I need clients? No. I'm a little bit particular with the clients we take because I know we're almost halfway to closing our doors. I need to become a little bit more selective with the clients we do take now. Like I said, if you found any value in this video, if you have any questions about our done-for-you service, make sure to just send me a message. You can send me a message on Instagram, Facebook. The links will be in the description below this video. And I hope you have a good one. I will see you guys next time.